You're not lazy, you lack systems. With enough motivation, we can accomplish whatever we want to, and we've done it before in the past. Maybe we finally ate healthy one day or went to the gym. Maybe we finally reached out to our friends and family, or started working on our business, learning a language, or resparking our passions. Whatever it is, if you've done something, anything that's contributed to your goals for just one day, that means it can be done. Our problem is staying consistent. If you asked me when I was going to work on my goals this week, the answers would be the same.
When are you going to start writing this week?
Whenever I start writing.
When are you going to eat healthy?
I don't know, whenever I start eating healthy.
When are you finally going to stop binging Netflix and actually do something?
I lack a specific time frame to work on all of my goals and have been leaving it up to chance and fleeting motivation to act, which, surprise, surprise, hasn't worked. This is how far I've gotten on my goals the past 2 weeks. It's not nothing, but some days it feels like it because I know I'm not making as much progress as I could. I realize I'm missing something. I've gotten hype, set my weekly goals, even documented my starting point, but I still can't manage to stay consistent and work on the things daily I know will take me closer to where I want to be. If you're feeling the same way, you probably lack a system. As I was reflecting on the past week, I remembered something I'd read before in Atomic Habits by James Clear. He states, "You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems." The example he gave that completely resonated with me was just cleaning your room. Every week I find myself surrounded by clutter. There's clothes on the floor, dishes on my dresser, random things on my desk, and this is after I cleaned it up last week. I can muster up the energy to clean it again, but every week, without fail, I'm surrounded by the same mess again. Why? Because I lack a system to keep my room clean. Here's the breakdown. The goal is to have a clean room, and we can do this one of two ways. One, we can clean our room back up whenever it gets messy, which is what I've been doing. Or two, we can follow a system that prevents our room from ever getting messy to begin with. This means that when we take off our clothes, we immediately throw them in our hamper or put them up. If we open something that leaves trash, immediately throw the trash away. If we're done using something we brought out, put it back as soon as we're done with it. That's it. That's the system. Now we'll always have a clean room if we follow it. The best part is these systemized actions only take a few minutes or seconds to do, so it's way easier than taking huge chunks of time out each week to do something like clean. So my goal moving forward is to try to implement a system in all of my goals. The simplest system is to just make a schedule. I've never been the type of person to plan out every second of every day, but I can admit that I need some type of structure to help guide what I should be doing and when. So, let's make a schedule. I'm using Notion to make my weekly schedule since most of my goals are measured weekly. So I'll start with my first goal, which is to exercise 3 times a week. I'll make this schedule starting next week because this week is kind of all over the place, but I just want a nice clean start for the next week that I can follow. Mondays, I know I'm not going to exercise because I work night shift on the weekends, so whenever I get home from work in the mornings, I just want to sleep all day and do nothing. So I'm going to aim for Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays as my workout days. And this I'll do pretty close to waking up. I want to wake up around 7 a.m., so I want to shoot for 9 a.m. for my workout sessions. Next goal is to write 2,500 words a day. So this kind of depends on how long I'm writing for. I'm definitely an iffy person whenever it comes to writing, so I can just be sitting there for 2 hours and then there's nothing on the screen. So I want to say I'm aiming for about 6 hours of writing each week, and hopefully that'll get me to the goal, and I'll adjust it the next week if that's not the case. But I like to work on writing at nighttime. I think it's mainly because my story that I'm working on is set on the dark side of a tidally locked planet, so it's always night. So I get more inspiration for writing during the night than during the day. So I think I'm gonna write at around 8 o'clock on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays, because I don't want to have a lot going on in the middle of the week. And since I'm really not wanting to do anything on Mondays, I can at least do it with something fun. So I'll write on those days. Next, I want to eat a healthy meal every day. It doesn't really matter what meal it is. It could be breakfast, lunch, or dinner. As long as one of those meals are healthier than what I'm used to eating, then that's a success. And one of the things that I fall into is if I don't have healthy foods around me, then of course I'm going to end up ordering food or eating on all of these different unhealthy processed foods that I have on hand. So I want to make sure that I do have foods that I can cook. So I want to aim to go grocery shopping on Mondays. That's a part of the system that I'm setting up to ensure that I can eat healthy every day. So Mondays, whenever I wake up, I'm gonna go grocery shopping, and this will be around 5:15. Next goal is practicing Spanish for 5 hours each week. So I think I'm gonna do an hour on Monday and then 2 hours 2 other days, probably Tuesday and Wednesday. Mondays, I'm going to do this later in the day because of course I don't wake up until later. So it'll be around 7 p.m. And then the other days, I'm gonna do it in the mornings or around noon because I want to get as much done at the beginning of the day as I possibly can. So then the rest of the day, I can just do whatever I want to and relax. Next is stretching. I know that I can stretch easily as soon as I'm done with the workout. So on the days that I exercise, I'll stretch immediately after that. And on the days that I don't exercise, I'll do it as soon as I wake up. So at the beginning of the day. I don't wake up until late in the afternoon on the weekends around 4 o'clock, so I won't stretch until around 4:30 on Saturdays and Sundays, and then also around 5 on Monday. And lastly, I'll add posting my YouTube videos on the schedule because as you probably noticed, I really don't have a posting schedule and I really want to start being more consistent on which days I post on YouTube. So I'm aiming for Sunday, and then whenever I'm able to start making 2 videos a week, the second video will be posted on Wednesday. Okay, so I think this is the weekly schedule that I've settled on for next week. And as you can probably tell, I don't have everything on here. So some of my goals like journaling before bed or doing my skincare routine are pretty self-explanatory, and there's not much use adding them to a schedule when there's a better way to remind me of them, like setting an alarm. But I think this is a pretty good starting schedule, and it gives me a lot more structure than what I had previously, which is nothing. Now I have a general time frame of when I should be doing my most important things throughout the week, and it's more likely for me to stay on top of those because I know exactly when and what I should be doing. So if you're failing to stay on top of different tasks or meet your weekly goals, then I highly recommend you create a schedule or some type of system that will remind you to act. It's easy to get stuck in the mindset that we're just incapable of change, that we've always been this way, so we always will be this way. And this isn't the truth. We like to characterize ourselves as lazy, unmotivated, and lacking drive when oftentimes we just don't know where to start. This is a completely new journey that we're on, so it's easy to get overwhelmed. But remember that you're not alone. There are others going through exactly what you are, and we're each trying to take a step forward to become better than who we were yesterday. We're gonna continue stumbling. That's what I've been doing this entire time. These past 2 weeks, I haven't accomplished as much as I wanted to, but this is just part of the journey. You will change. We all will. Just give it time. I'm excited to see where we'll be next week. Stay positive, guys.